Recording.
What? Ow. That hurt my ears now.
Well, that's what happens.
I mean, that was a little rude. I did it, nonchalantly. You did it on purpose. And I find that extremely rude.
You tapped it 6 times. I tapped twice.
That's there's a joke there, but I'm going to leave it alone.
Oh, we haven't done this in 4 weeks.
Oh, God, has it been that long?
It has been that long.
Oh, sorry.
And I realized that I really miss recording with you.
Aw, are we going to make this a seminal moment?
Don't do that. We had a moment and you just ruined it.
How did I ruin it?
You just because you mispronounced the words.
What are you talking about? That's how you say it. That's how you say it. You say the words like that.
Oh, gosh.
And now I'm doing a voice, I'm doing a bit. I don't know what this is, but it's happening.
Taking another 4-week break.
Just like that.
It was like that.
I'm done. He's like, we're 1 minute and 15 seconds at the recording. He's like, I'm done. I can't do this.
And we're done. Greetings and welcome to our show, Fresh Geek Context. It is here we discuss insightful views on a routine bi-weekly basis over the incredibly nerdy things we can't stop talking about. To take you on this dorky ride are your hosts, Josh.
Yeah, I've got nothing this time. This is what happens when you're gone for 4 weeks. Continue, please.
And myself, Jace. So why don't you take a seat, sit back, relax. We're here to do all the heavy lifting. It is about to get nerdy after a hiatus of sorts. This is episode 98.
Part uno, not like the card game. I made that joke once before, but I'll make it again. It's fine.
That's what happens when you're away for 4 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. This is the episode where one of us got a PS5 and the other one is left out in the cold.
Spoilers. I got one. Sorry there, buddy. But, if it's any consolation, there's a lot of people who are still waiting.
How is that a consolation?
Trying to see the bright side of this. No, that's not a thing. Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah. As of November 15th, Sony and Microsoft have released their next-gen consoles.
Yeah, and it's been kind of interesting. Consoles have come and going, just disappearing in a matter of split seconds. All those pops out there.
Yeah. So in the United States, we are dealing with the pandemic, and 2020 has shown us that there are still opportunities for companies to improve on lots of things. Like digital shopping carts, for instance.
To be clear, just to be clear here, I did try to get one for you.
I know.
I mean, I really tried.
I know you did.
It was in the cart and it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was split second.
Yeah, the split seconds was basically hours for a lot of people. Yeah. Wouldn't you agree? So Target, Best Buy, GameStop, and even the official Sony website are currently sold out and have been since the 12th. I just don't know why or understand at all in 2020 why we have the words sold out anywhere. It doesn't even make sense. But you got one.
I did. I'm
staring at it we have
over there.
yeah, I know. So let's do this because there's a lot of things to talk about here. We have PS5 news to uncover as well as the usual suspects of topics that we typically talk about, Marvel news and other things that we always enjoy talking about, as we say in the intro.
We do talk about a lot of things.
We do.
But
sometimes we go over. But
sometimes
what would you like to talk about first?
Yeah, so you know what? I mean, this is the new hotness, as they call it, right? The PlayStation 5.
No one says that except for Will Smith.
I mean, Will Smith says, so it's fine. It's cool.
You're dating yourself. I just want you to know that.
Listen, it happens, all right? And
I know.
Just let me have this.
I love you all the same.
Please.
I just want you to know.
Just let me have it. Just let me do it.
No one says that.
Just let me have it. Please?
You have it.
All right, cool. I have it. And I do have the PS5. Let's go. Yeah, no, this thing is, first of all, pictures don't do this thing justice in terms of how big it is.
It's a big baby.
It's huge. Like,
big baby.
I took it out of the box is big, first of all. And then I took it out of the box, and I'm just like, what is this giant piece of technology that I just purchased? It is very big. And
are we going to be getting an unboxing video? I know we did that once.
We did that for the PS4 Pro. I was honestly going to do it for the PS5, and I may do a full little review like I did for the PS Classic. But however, the reason I didn't do it for the PS5 is for one reason and one reason only.
Mm-hmm.
I was too excited, so I just unboxed it and put it under my TV stand and just started playing. So,
yikes.
Sorry.
You have robbed the opportunity for lots of men and women and unicorns to see this pure joy of the unboxing.
Yeah, I was too excited. So, it's funny, actually. One of my friends texted me, and he was like, listen, I expect an unboxing video from you. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. I'll do it. And, yeah, I was too excited that not only did I not do an unboxing video, I forgot to text this person. And then a few hours later, they're like, so where's the video? I'm like, about that.
You're just pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
Not only do you get it before a lot of people would like to have it, but you rob us of an unboxing video. And those things,
sorry.
Like cooking, you put it in the oven, you can't take it out too soon, you can't take it out too late.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get another one, but the launch has passed.
It has passed.
If we get an Xbox, you decide to get an Xbox, there's no unboxing video for that. No one's unboxing a PS4 right now.
I mean, I'm not going to get an Xbox because I have something called a PC that plays every single game that Xbox will get.
I was giving you an example.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, but it's not happening. Just sorry. There's no reason.
I am fully confident that you will not own an Xbox for this generation.
This generation, no.
Correct. Yeah. Got it.
Yes.
Totally got it.
So yeah, I'm sorry that I robbed everyone of this unboxing video. However,
selfish.
I was too excited. I really wanted
But I'm glad you did
it.
get it. Time.
Listen, so here's the thing. Here's the reason why I was so excited was because the thing came out on the 12th. FedEx app was like, yeah, it's out for shipping or whatever. It's tracking and all this stuff. I'm like, cool. So he said I was going to get it today. So I'm going to get it today. It says it'll be delivered by 8 p.m. tonight.
Mm-hmm.
8 p.m. rolls around. This thing's still not at my house. I'm like, what is happening right now? And so I contact FedEx, and they're like, oh, the latest thing we have is that it's in your area. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I contact Sony, and they're like, well, it's according to us. It says it's on the truck. So, look out for that. I'm like, it's 8:30. What truck delivers past 8:30? And they're like, it'll be there. Don't worry. Just keep an eye out on your door so you don't miss it. And I'm like, okay. And by 8:45, I was like 10 minutes later, I was like, this is not coming today. It's just not happening. And so I wake up the next morning. I wake up because I know sometimes they'll do early morning deliveries. I woke up at 8:30, waiting to see, and I checked the app, and the app's like, oh, it's out for delivery. I'm like, yes, and it's it'll be there again by 8 p.m. tonight. I'm like, crap. Okay, whatever. So once I'm up, I can't go back to sleep. So I'm up, and then I start playing. I was playing PS4. I was playing Ghost of Tsushima because I was platinuming that. And I'm waiting till finally 3 o'clock rolls around, and I see the FedEx truck pull up outside, and I'm like, this is it. This is the moment. I'm hyping myself up. He drops off an envelope, and that's it. Inside the envelope is Miles Morales. So I'm like, okay, I have Miles Morales. I don't have a console. What is happening right now? And then I look at the app again, and it was 2 separate packages, one box for the PS5 and one little envelope for Miles Morales. And they both said they were out for delivery. So I'm like, did he just not grab the other box from the truck? Is that what happened? And then I kind of stalk him as he's going back to the car. And then he looks before he closes the door. He's like, oh, wait. And then I realize he forgot the other box, but then he starts bringing it over, and then I got super excited, and then what just happened is I opened it up, and then I just wanted to play it. So the FedEx driver almost went away with the PlayStation, but then it became in my possession, and then I was very excited. So that is why there was not an unboxing video, because it was just too much hype, and then it happened. That being said, this thing is amazing. Like, it's really, really cool, and I'm very excited.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. And I know that everyone else is going to get it, but I mean, we should also talk about, not just the PS5 itself, but the craziness that people are going through with this, because there's just, I'd say, two sides of this.
Oh yeah.
Launch phase. There are the people that buy it and instantly destroy it, either in front of long lines, but because it's 2020 and there aren't lines, they're not smashing it in front of you, but they do take to online services like YouTube and Twitter, and they will show either pictures of the PS5 getting destroyed by water jets, dipping it in water, setting it on fire. Xbox, there's people blowing vape smoke into it, and I'm like, it bothers me. It bothers me not because I want one, but like, I know 2020 has been challenging for a lot of people.
Sure.
And that console, that item, it could be anything, right? It could be a book, it could be a console, it could be an action figure.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, whatever that thing is, can bring joy for somebody. I mean, people, I know people that would love to have that. And if I have to wait a week, a month, 2 months, like even into next year, fine. Like, I can wait. I got things that I got to take care of anyway.
Sure.
I have no problem waiting. But it just seems wasteful.
It does.
It just seems super wasteful for me.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, it's not even with the PS5 console. Like, people have been doing this for years, right? With whatever the new hotness is. I'm going to use that phrase again. Like, whatever the new piece of technology, whatever the new popular thing is, somebody will inevitably purchase it just to destroy it, which I never personally understood.
I don't get it.
Because, I guess you'll more than likely get the money back over time because of how many views the video gets and how many ads you roll on it and all that stuff. But I'm like, was it really worth it? Like, how much more money are you going to make off of that video? That
it must be worth it because they keep doing it, right? I think the first one I saw getting destroyed was the Wii. I don't remember a PlayStation 2 getting destroyed.
Well, that's also because that was 2001.
Right, but I mean, you would have seen it on the news. You would have seen it on the internet. What?
You wouldn't have seen that on the news.
Yes, you would have.
No, you wouldn't have.
Totally would have.
No, absolutely not.
Because, I mean, so put it this way. When it came to consoles,
and the reason for that is because things didn't go as viral. Like, something like that wouldn't have gone that viral in 2001.
Honestly, look, I can't speak for the consoles of my youth, right? Like, Atari was not part of my youth, but my parents did have one, so...
Or NES or Sega Genesis.
NES was the first one of my youth, then the Sega Genesis. Like, I remember watching that on the news, and I remember watching people online, but never did I ever see, like, someone rushing out of the store and smashing it on the ground. Right. There was no platform for that.
Exactly.
It just wasn't there. But come 2001, Google has established itself, and I don't know if here's what I know.
Yeah.
Google is responsible for a lot of the success that exists out there. Things like LinkedIn and MySpace and Facebook and Twitter and all of these social media companies don't exist without Google, right? So Google kind of fosters and is the a tinder fire for the internet to explode. Without Google, nobody knows where anything really is effectively, right?
Right.
So I do remember being able to kind of see where people were residing. And, YouTube wasn't a thing, but videos existed.
Right.
Videos absolutely existed. And I know people were going crazy for the PS2. I know price gouging at the time that the PS2 came out was a thing, but I don't think it got any more expensive than, let's say, $2,000, most $5,000.
Yeah.
I mean, now the PS5. I think I read an article that somebody was selling it on eBay for $32,000. $32,000. I mean, it's not my salary, but I mean that's somebody's salary.
Yeah.
And I don't get that. I can understand being excited. I can understand being excited for something. But being that excited, to pay $1 over what the MSRP is for anything, no, I'll just wait. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I mean, we're talking about the PlayStation 2. I don't remember, this thing that happened, but I do remember the first time I saw somebody waited on this really long line to get the Wii. They ran out of the Toys R Us. And there were cameras back then.
Yeah.
There weren't great ones, but there were cameras nonetheless. Cell phone video was starting to take off. And this person ran out. He raised the Wii back up in his hand. He opened it up, took the Wii out, smashed it on the ground, and, ran away. Didn't even throw it out. It was a weird stunt, but clearly it must have meant something because people are still doing it today.
Yeah.
So,
but again, it's something that I just don't understand. So,
I don't understand it either. But what I would do in that situation is if I'm going to own a PS5, I would just make sure that somebody that I care about would get it.
Sure. Absolutely.
We need a little bit more things to make us feel better during these times. This is one of those things. This is the reason why people are. What's the word I'm looking for? Clamoring over it.
Yeah.
I suppose is the word.
Yeah.
So
it brings positivity.
It does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
But yeah. Aside from people destroying it, we were talking about before, Sony PlayStation and the PS2. Funny story about the PS2. This is way off base now because we haven't recorded for 4 weeks. But did you know that the PS2, someone within the last 4 weeks, did turn 20 years old?
I did. I did a Instagram post on our at FGC podcast on Instagram. I did a story where I made sure that mine still turns on, and it does. So
okay,
she's the fan goes crazy, but she works.
She purrs.
She purrs
and wheezes.
Yeah, but she works.
Yeah,
I was playing Path of Neo on it because I told you that I purchased Path of Neo for it, and I was playing a little bit of that, and yeah. She purrs, but she works.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So, anything else about the PS5 that you'd like to talk? I mean, because I know a lot of people have already finished Miles Morales. I think that's the big thing. For me, as I'm scrolling through it, I just kind of scroll past certain things now because I know I'm going to start seeing screenshots, things, and memes.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people have it, so I don't understand the rush to push that stuff out there. Because not a lot of people if you're trying to make an effective meme, the joke is, or rather, I guess the goal is, you want everybody to get it. Mm-hmm. But you can't really rush to do that if no one has the game.
Exactly.
So I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, I mean, so the console is very quiet. It's very silent, and because you have your PS4, your launch PS4, right? That you have.
What's that?
You have a launch PS4, right?
Oh yeah.
And that thing, if you're playing Kingdom Hearts or if you're playing Last of Us, that thing goes off like a freaking jet engine, right?
Nope. So Kingdom Hearts, not a problem. Last of Us 2, big problem.
Yeah. So all right, I thought it was Kingdom Hearts as well. So yeah, when you play something like Last of Us.
If I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 3, which I suppose in an episode in the future, we have to talk about Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, we're going to go over Kingdom Hearts, don't worry.
Yeah, that...
Because I also did get the new game, Melody of Memories. Whew.
Best.
Whew. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Anyways, so in some parts in Kingdom Hearts 3, I can start to hear the fan, but that's after several hours of play. But Last of Us 2, hands down, it just goes off.
Yeah. I have the Spider-Man PS4 Pro, and Last of Us 2, that thing started going like crazy. And then I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima lately. That's been going crazy on Ghost of Tsushima as well. So yeah, I was very surprised when I started playing Miles Morales, and the fan will ramp up for like a quick second. Like I'll hear it and be like, "Oh, there it goes," but then it'll stop. So it's like it just needed that initial kick for whatever reason, and then boom, it stays quiet. It doesn't do anything. Every once in a while, you'll hear the fan ramp up for just a second or two, and then it'll go back down. Whereas the PS4 would be a constant fan.
Yeah.
So I'm already impressed by that.
I've had phones that get, because with many phones, I would say virtually all phones, doesn't matter what platform that you're using, there's no fans in those. But I do know that many phones, when you start doing certain activities under certain conditions, the phone will start to get hot.
Well, yeah.
Very, very hot.
Yeah.
And the battery will drain.
Sure.
So typically what I do is, because if I charge it, I notice that when it's really hot like that and the battery drains, if you plug it in, the battery won't charge past a certain point. Like if you're at 30 and it's draining, you plug it in, doesn't matter what you're doing, it'll stay at 30, and it will take a really long time for it to go down to 29.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I usually put an ice cube on it where it's the hottest.
What? No.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it cools it down.
You know what else cools it down?
Turning it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put an ice cube on it. And funnily enough, when I do that, regardless of whatever item that I'm using, charging goes up.
Oh my god.
Charging it up.
Just turn it off for like 2 minutes.
No.
And it'll be fine.
Ice is way more fun.
Yeah, you know what else is way more fun? When liquid gets in there.
It's not gonna get in there.
Sure, you say that now.
I got it covered anyway. No worries.
Liquid and electronics don't go together, just saying.
So I don't put it directly on the machine.
Still doesn't go together. Anyway. Yeah, so it is silent. It's really nice in that regard. The other piece I will say is the controller. So you have a Switch Pro controller, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So I will say, you've held both. You've held the DualShock 4, the current PS4 controller, and you've held the Nintendo Switch Pro controller.
I've held everything except for the
DualSense.
PS5.
Yeah. So the DualSense, to me at least, and I'm hoping that you will also feel the same when you eventually get your PS5. The DualSense feels like a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Like it has that same feeling. In that regard, that means it's also getting closer to feeling like an Xbox controller. However, it's not as big.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's still as comfortable as the DualShock 4. I thought personally that the DualShock 4 was a really fantastic controller. I know people really prefer the Xbox controller as well. But the DualSense, I feel like, has definitely closed that gap where it's like, okay, these are both 100% comfortable for everybody, like all around. So I'm very happy with the controller. It's weird that there is a mic built into it, though, because I just have that thing muted because I know I'm not going to talk to anybody online.
Yet.
No, I'm going to play a lot of single-player games on the PS5. If I multiplayer, I'm going to do PC. Unless,
But what about Gotham Knights?
Well, all right, Gotham Knights, we can play together.
There you go.
But I consider that as quote-unquote single-player game.
Co-op.
I know there's co-op, but I still consider it a single player. But it's weird because the mute mic button is on the controller, and then if you click it, there's like this just yellow bar that just sits there, indicating that it's muted. It just bothers me. Not that I look down that often to see it, but when I do inevitably look down, it's like, why is that there? That's probably my only problem with it. In terms of like the haptic feedback and stuff, it is really cool. I haven't played Astro's Playroom yet. I'm going to play that soon because I've just been so enwrapped in Miles Morales. Mm-hmm. Specifically, when you're swinging around the city, as you press down the trigger, like it gets harder to press. Obviously, not like a ridiculous amount, but you feel the resistance on it, as if you're, actually swinging as Spider-Man, or if you're actually pushing out web, which is really, really cool.
Right.
And then like the little tiny haptics, like whenever Miles is like typing on a computer, you'll feel like the individual keys all over the controller and stuff like that. So that's really cool. So it's not just like one big rumble for everything. You actually feel like individual taps and little things. So it's definitely an improvement over the rumble. And yeah, I really, really enjoy it. And then Miles Morales, again, we'll talk about this once we kind of get a little bit more in depth into it. And again, when you eventually get it. But Miles Morales is just so good. And I'm excited for what the second Spider-Man game will bring because of it. Because I just know, like, there's going to be missions where you're Peter, and then there's going to be some missions when you're Miles as Spider-Man. And this is going to get a little spoiler heavy for the original Spider-Man game. They definitely tease the symbiote. I will not be surprised if Peter gets the black suit and you have to fight him as Miles. Like, I would not be surprised if that happens.
We'll see. I mean, so there was somebody else that I talked to who was actually lucky enough to get it this past weekend. Yeah.
And I didn't finish Miles' story, so I don't know anything past that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So one of the things that my friend was talking about was the headset. Yeah. The headset that is sold by Sony.
Yeah.
And number one, the look, the design of it, the sound of it, the functionality of it all. And he's playing Miles Morales on the PS5, and I guess the experience is not only enhanced by the DualSense, but it's also, enhanced by the audio of it all. And, audio has been like a mixed bag for me, from the PS3 to the PS4. So maybe I might get the headset for the PS5. I'm really curious, because I remember very specifically in Spider-Man PS4 where you're fighting Electro. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've played the game thoroughly, right? That was one of the only games that I've platinumed.
Yep.
So I'm very familiar with what's that?
The only game you've platinumed.
I know, and that will probably be that way until probably the next.
Nah, you're going to platinum Miles Morales.
Probably.
Yep.
So anyway, when you're fighting Electro in the power grid,
yep,
there are moments where you're fighting, and because you're fighting, Electro as well as Vulture,
yes.
Clearly there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So clearly there's stuff that's happening in front of you, to the left and right of you, but there's also stuff happening behind you. But you don't know what's happening behind you, because games aren't designed that way. Mm-hmm. But I'm imagining with the audio, not only will the next game start to help you feel what Spider-Sense is going to feel like, but you'll also be able to hear oncoming danger.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking about all these sort of things, like, what is a shootout going to feel like? What is it going to sound like?
Yeah.
What does racing sound like? Like, if I'm playing a racing game, typically I'm looking at the inset on the legend where the map is, and I can see somebody approaching me, but what would it feel like if I feel someone approaching from behind me?
Yeah.
The revving of the engines and all that. So I think gaming is going to become very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting a taste of it now. So I'm excited for you. I'm really glad that you have it. I'm getting a lot of my questions answered, but there are certain things that I don't think anybody can really explain to me.
Yeah, no, there are things that you have to just experience yourself.
Experience it for yourself. So, I really don't anticipate the hype, staying that long, because
at least resellers, through the holiday, probably.
I don't even think it's going to be that long, to be honest with you. I really don't, because resellers have to be in this weird place, and like, I personally would never want to be one, because you're in this place where, okay, so I'm just selling a PS5 for more than $500, right? Somebody might do it, but like, what's the end game? Like, how long am I going to keep this up for? Because as soon as the stock reaches the shelves and everyone gets one, like, I now have a PS5 that just, or whatever the item is, at whatever the cost is. So I'm like, it's just there. Like, I just need somebody to buy it so I can free up the space in my personal living quarters. So that time frame in order for you to truly take advantage of a situation is very minuscule.
For sure. Yeah. So who knows? We shall see. See what happens.
Yeah.
But we'll have more information about PS5 stuff later on, and we'll kind of go a little bit more in depth into it once we've kind of, or at least me for now, until Jace gets one, kind of go through like some of the little ins and outs of it and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep.
So, waiting on that.
Yeah, for sure. So you wanted to talk about something in particular.
I did.
Yeah.
So one of the things that is interesting, because there's been a lot of news about movie productions that have been continuing, which we're about to get into in a second. But one of the things that leads into this topic that I'm talking about is this wonderful page that I actually shared with you. You cried out BS, but I think it's worth noting. And this is from comicbook.com on Twitter at comicbook.
Sure.
Is Uncharted 5 in development for the PS5? I say yes. You say BS.
So here's the thing.
I already know exactly what you're going to say. So please. So you're just telling the audience at this point.
I'm telling the audience at this point, correct? Because you already know my argument.
I already know your argument.
So, will there be an Uncharted for PS5? I can probably say yes. Will it be Uncharted 5? Probably not. Because Uncharted with a number indicates that it's going to be Nathan Drake. It's not going to be Nathan Drake. So therefore, it's not going to be Uncharted 5. Will it be something akin to Lost Legacy, where it's Chloe and Nadine, or if it's another character from the Uncharted universe or something like that? Sure, I can absolutely see that. Could it even be a prequel a la Golden Abyss for the Vita? Sure. Do I think it's going to be Nathan Drake's next adventure? No. So that's why I'm calling BS on the 5 portion of it, but it could be something like a side story or something like that.
So what you're saying is, instead of saying is Uncharted 5 in development for the PS5, you're saying is an Uncharted project in development for the PS5.
Correct.
Would be more appropriate.
Correct.
Got it. Here's what I know.
Yeah.
I know, yes, the story is over. Yes, I understand that, Naughty Dog is the company that is responsible for making these wonderful, beloved games, and story is king, as we've typically heard before.
Correct.
But I also know corporate greed. And there is no way that Sony is going to sit there making a movie, which we're going to talk about in a second, called Uncharted, and there is nothing in the works for a new story. So, at this point, it's an interesting predicament that they find themselves. When I say they, I'm talking about Naughty Dog and, all the cast and crew is involved in. Can they make an Uncharted 5? Just make a new story? Absolutely. Absolutely. Would it be good? No. So the answer is...
And that's the thing. Naughty Dog, they don't just put out anything to put it out.
No. And they haven't. They
won't, honestly. They really won't. Like, Naughty Dog will not put out something that they think is crap. Like, absolutely not.
And we know the history. We know the history very well. Some Crash Bandicoot games came out that were questionable.
Anything after Crash 3 is not them, with the exception of CTR.
So CTR was them.
CTR was them, which is regarded as one of the best kart racing games on the PlayStation 1. But after that point, nothing else is them.
Okay. So...
Wait, was Crash Bash them? Hold on. Can't remember.
I feel like there was one game that they made that was...
They did the original trilogy, and then did they do... Nope, they did not do Crash Bash. So yes, they only did the original trilogy and CTR. Those are the only Crash games that were by them.
Right. So, here's my thing. Naughty Dog is very much like Pixar in this regard.
Mm-hmm.
They made Toy Story 1. Everybody fell in love with that movie.
Sure.
Disney was very keen to make a sequel, and Pixar declared no.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are now in 2020, where we have not one Toy Story, not 2, not 3, but 4.
Sure.
Now, 4... I don't think we're making another one after this one. I believe that the Toy Story franchise is done.
Yep.
There's really no place for them to go aside from side missions.
Yes.
However,
which they have done.
Right. Can they make another Toy Story? Of course they can.
Yep.
They really shouldn't have made a Toy Story 4, but they did.
Right.
So, and that's how I'm looking at Uncharted.
Yeah.
They don't need to make one, but can they? Yes. Can it be a great story? Yes. Is the last Uncharted the best ending for a franchise like this? 100%. I am not going to take that away from you. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
So I think arguing whether or not it's going to be quote unquote Uncharted 5 is a moot point.
Sure.
Like,
here's the thing.
Uncharted is being developed.
Yeah. Here's the other piece of that puzzle too, though. So if you want to use the moniker of Toy Story, it took them 10 years to finally say, well, probably a little bit less, because that 10 years is, when the movies actually came apart. So let's just say realistically 8, right? Say it takes 2 years to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Uncharted 4 came out in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, if they do an Uncharted 5, like an actual true sequel, numbered sequel, I don't foresee that coming out for at least another 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Hands down. Now, again, could they do something small like Lost Legacy? Which, by the way, Lost Legacy is a fantastic game. I love Lost Legacy. Could they do something like that? Absolutely. Will I play something like that? Absolutely. Give me more of that. But I think the thing is about Naughty Dog, when they finish a story, they have no problems moving on.
Listen, let's just cut to the chase. Okay? Last of Us 2. They didn't care about anybody's feelings there.
Right.
It's clear.
Right. Well, they didn't care about anybody's feelings because they told a story that they wanted to tell.
Right.
So they don't care.
The story that had the most type of impact.
Exactly. So that's what they're about.
I get it.
So if they say, hey, this story is done, they're closing the book and they're like, we're moving on. Can another studio take this and do spin-off games? Absolutely. It already happened. Like I said, Golden Abyss for Vita, that was a Naughty Dog. That wasn't them. They gave it to Ben Studio, and Ben was the one that did it. Was it a good game? Yeah, it was a fun game. Was it, up to Uncharted standards? Absolutely not, because it wasn't Naughty Dog. But it was still a good game. Because Naughty Dog already had the story that they wanted to tell, and they told it, and now they're done.
So, we get to this really interesting part, and I understand I am part of the great minority here, and that's an oxymoron, but I'm going to stick with it anyway. Yeah. So, I noticed this, right? Uncharted is one, Kingdom Hearts is another, some, fantastic franchises, right? When we get to this place where you're replaying it on these new consoles, you're like, you wish it could be retold. You wish it could be. So, I look at Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Love playing those games. Those games are phenomenal games. Yeah. But then you get to Kingdom Hearts 3, and you're like, whoa. Okay, these things are redesigned. And yes, they're bringing a lot of elements that they did in the first two games, and they put it in the third game.
Yeah.
So it looks great. And it's like, I wish we had the technology that we have now put into the older games.
Sure.
Uncharted 2, hands down, my favorite of the Uncharted series.
Mm-hmm.
I love Uncharted 4. I love 3. 1 is challenging.
I mean,
For technical reasons. We get it. We absolutely get it. But, dude, I would have lost it if they announced that they were going to remake Uncharted 2. It's an old story, but think of what could be done with a PS5 and an Uncharted 2 game.
I mean, yes, but that's... I don't think... Naughty Dog's not really about that. Like, the remastered editions
hey, what did I say?
last year were one thing, but they won't do that.
No, and what did I say? I know I'm part of the minority on there. But you know that the thought has been floated.
Probably. But
the thought has been floated. I don't know if it's going to catch wind.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But they know.
Mm-hmm.
They know. Like, what out of all of these, they know which ones stand the highest out of all of them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, imagine what they could do now with that franchise. And that's the reason why we talk about this. I mean, is Uncharted 5 in development for the PS5? Because they're looking to recapture lightning in a bottle.
Right.
And yeah, you and I both know Naughty Dog doesn't stand for that. So what is it something new that they can do? Perhaps they can pass the torch on to whoever is the successor for Nathan Drake. Or maybe somebody comes in and has been following Nathan Drake all of these years, and Nate becomes the new Sully. Who knows? I mean, you don't know what happens in the writer's room.
Right.
I would love to be a part of it, but that's another story for another time. You never know, man. I'd say Uncharted 5, you say BS. I say don't count it out, because there's always a new story to tell. There's always a new story to tell.
Yeah, but again, I know Naughty Dog, and when they're done with something, they have no problems moving on. Mm-hmm. Because I've been wanting a Jack 4 for how long, and no, that's not happening.
Yeah,
because they're done with that franchise. But speaking of Uncharted,
mm-hmm.
we did get our very, very first look at Mr. Tom Holland.
Yeah, this is a long time ago.
Yeah, this is a long time ago now. We had this
4 weeks ago.
when we wrote this script, we were like, yeah, this is going to be the next episode. We got this, blah, blah. We were supposed to record it that week. It's not a month later.
4 weeks later.
Things happen in life, folks.
We're sorry, guys.
People get busy. People have mental breakdowns. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So
take the time that you need. This is a mental health.
Yeah. This is. You know what? In all honesty, no joking. Please check your mental health. Like, it is very important. Just as important as your physical health, mental health is also very, very important. Anyway.
Just don't ignore it, please.
Yes, don't ignore it.
Get better if you ignore
exactly. it. Exactly. Just talk to someone, deal with it, and then take a deep breath.
Hug a friend.
Talk it out.
Self-care.
Self-care.
Please do self-care. Can we do an episode on self-care?
I'm all right. You know what? We're gonna derail this topic for just a second. I kind of want to do one because I kid you not, things have been happening, and like, I feel like it would be a very, very helpful episode for a lot of people.
So I say this because, number one, I care about you.
Yeah.
I care about me too.
Yeah.
And I know what it is that you're going through. Man, this is going to get really serious in like 2 seconds.
Exactly.
So this is something that happened to me.
Yeah.
And we talk about 2020 every single episode.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to unpack here. Like, we are in a new life.
Yeah.
And we're not ready for it. So there's a lot of things that we need to do to not only take care of yourself but take care of others.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened to me for the entire summer. I mean, for the what was it, the length of the 7 months, I'd say from March to about September, October. Yeah, I had 2 breakdowns.
Yep.
2 breakdowns where it was impossible for me to go forward.
Yeah.
And so I could live, responsibly. But what's on the other side of that coin, or I could live recklessly and put other people in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are lots of things that you can do to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I have solid tips. And who knows, maybe this is how we get engagement, with some of you listeners out there. But taking care of yourself and, helpful tips and tricks. Whatever I have, I'm going to share it with you. Yeah. I'm going to share it with you, Josh. I'm going to share it with listeners. And if it helps you, yeah, well, I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary that we do it.
Yeah, we'll talk about this and see what we can do about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. I got really serious for a second there.
I know. I said we were going there.
Yeah. All right. Back to your fun-loving co-hosts. We're back. Don't worry.
We are still talking about the things that we enjoy because these are the things that we do for self-care. I mean...
Yeah. We talk about video juegos. We talk about movies. We talk about Tom Holland releasing a new photo on his Instagram that's now 4 weeks old, but this is the first time we're talking about it, so we're going to talk about it. And it's him of Nathan Drake.
Looks good.
It looks good.
Looks good.
Now, here's the thing. I
already know exactly what you're going to say.
Because this is a conversation that we had a month ago. That's why. But this is the first time we're having it on this platform.
Yes.
So I am very confused about this movie. I am excited for it. I want to see it. We both love Uncharted.
Yep.
We're both excited.
Yep.
They keep saying this is Nathan Drake before he's Nathan Drake, right? Like this is a prequel of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Then why the hell is he dressed like he's dressed in Uncharted 1?
They could have been filming the last scene. We don't really know, but
He doesn't wear that for the rest of his life. He wears that for, like, the game takes place in a course of, 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, he doesn't wear that for the rest of his life. He wears that for 2 days.
Look, I get it. So, that's not what bothers me.
Maybe 3 days. I don't know.
The thing that bothers me is, clearly a Tom Holland fan.
Well, there's 2 things I wanted to address. That was the first, sorry.
The
second one was he also shared a second Instagram story showing a video of them on the set.
Mm-hmm.
The set looks like the church from the end of the first game.
Yeah, so I don't really believe anything that they tell me.
So I'm like, is this Uncharted 1? Like the story of Uncharted 1? Like, are we going to have El Dorado and everything?
I don't
And then it's like, where's Elena then?
Who knows? Imagine if it's Zendaya. Imagine.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious. I would personally love it. I know people will freak out, but I would personally love it.
I know people would hate it.
People absolutely hate it. Like, I can tell you right now, there will be an
has
uproar.
Blonde hair. Why are you doing this?
Wait, hold on. What if it's Zendaya and she dyed her hair blonde?
Please, I'm here for it.
Like a dirty blonde.
Zendaya can do whatever she wants. I keep saying her name wrong. I apologize to you.
Is it Zendaya?
Zendaya.
Yeah. Okay, what if it's her? She has her hair not like obviously like blonde, but like, like a dirty blonde or something. Like, I would love it.
Elena aside,
and she has the purple top, the purple
yes,
tank.
She does need that. But Elena aside, I do love Tom Holland. I do.
Yeah.
I think he's a great actor. I want to see.
If you really want to see Tom Holland act, by the way, this is for you and for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
On Netflix, he had that movie with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I know what he's capable of doing. I know.
What's the name of that movie?
The Devil All the Time.
The Devil All the Time. He is fantastic.
He is. I don't doubt that for a second. I just know Nathan Drake has a very specific way of being. It's Nathan Fillion in a video game.
You're not wrong.
And we got a short film. We'll be more than happy to put it in the show notes. But
I watched it the other day, actually.
So freaking good. Still so good. And I'm like, why not just take him and put him in the thing?
50.
I know, but that short film was so good.
Had they made this movie, or had Nathan Fillion been as old as he was in Firefly,
it would have failed. Yeah, exactly. Firefly. You just said it.
Nathan Fillion Firefly era Nathan Fillion in this movie.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also 2020. Like, we can do things to make a 50-year-old an action star.
Perfection.
I get it. I understand why.
At least we have
casted
that short story.
We do. We absolutely do. And I understand why they casted Tom Holland.
Because they want to make this a franchise.
Because they want to clearly make this the franchise moving forward for the next decade or two. So
he'll be Spider-Man and Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
Ooh,
oh, yeah.
Can't wait for that Spider-Man Nathan Drake crossover.
Bro.
They're both part of PlayStation Studios.
Yeah. Until Marvel says, no, thank you.
Yeah, right.
But who knows?
It looks good.
I want to see him say the lines as Nathan. That's what I want to see. Because I can't see it right now.
I want him to punch somebody and say, "Kitty got wet."
So that's clearly going to happen. You already know that already. And then there's Sully. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, so a few days later.
Yeah, I know.
So a few days later, Mark Wahlberg, I sent it in our little group chat that we have. Mark Wahlberg posted like a very short video on his Instagram of him saying in obscurity, which is fine, whatever, it's Mark Wahlberg. But the way that his hair and makeup were, it's basically Sully.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked like Sully, if you remember Uncharted 3, during the flashback sequence of kid Nathan Drake. Mm-hmm. He looked like that. Mm-hmm. Which is like, so is it a prequel? Or is it Uncharted 1? I don't understand. But we won't understand until we get the first trailer, probably.
I hope we get something new. Because as much as I love Uncharted, all the games for their stories, I don't need to see Uncharted 1 game in a movie. We already have a problem when it comes to most video games turning into movies. They turn out pretty bad.
Not all of them. But, like Sonic was really good. Detective Pikachu.
Do you know how long it took for us to get there?
Well, yeah. But, I mean, that doesn't mean that this won't be good. We don't know yet.
Well, right. If we're trending...
Because here's the thing. Uncharted as a series is already like watching a movie anyway.
I know this.
So the foundation's already there.
I just am concerned. I don't want a shot-for-shot remake. We've seen The Lion King. We see how bad that worked.
They're not going to do that.
I know, but it's just create something new.
They're not going to create like a brand new story, I don't think. They're going to take elements from the games.
You can take elements. You can take all the elements that you want. Yeah. Do it. I have no problem with it.
If they can do El Dorado again and change it up a little bit.
Other stories to tell.
So you're telling me you don't want to see Lazarevich?
I really do, though.
Yeah, exactly. Be quiet.
But like Uncharted, I don't know. I get nervous.
You don't want to see Shambhala in real life? Come on,
dude. That would be crazy.
Right? See? Look at that. Look at that. I just said two things from that game, and
Stop
you're like,
you're using my favorite game against me. So
well, because they will inevitably do Uncharted 2. That's why. Like they will inevitably do that.
Who do you think is going to play Chloe?
Ooh, Chloe. She's Australian. You know what? I've actually been rewatching Dexter. And I know she's British. She's not Australian. But I still think she would be great for it. Do you remember in season 2 the sponsor that he gets? Because Rita thinks that he's doing drugs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Lila is her name in the show.
Mm-hmm.
That actress. I forget her name off the top of my head. But whoever played Lila in Dexter season 2. Yes.
Don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I could see why you're saying that, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think
she's a legitimate good actress. It's not just because of the accent.
I'm looking forward to more from, the Uncharted movie, and I'm looking more for the first look, because clearly that's the only Marvel stuff that we're going to get this year. More on that later. Right. But moving on to the next topic, because we could talk about this.
So we're gonna kind of move a little bit quicker here as we go along.
I mean, this one isn't really too much of a topic. This is just like more information that they dropped for us.
Yeah, we're going to kind of combine these two.
Yeah. Jared Leto is actually coming back for the Snyder Cut, which is going to be coming out in 2021 on HBO Max. We talked about this in depth. This is going to be, a 4-hour movie where you can watch it in 4 segments, an hour apiece.
If you don't watch it all 4 hours at one time, you're not a true fan. Just saying.
I think that's something that Josh is saying. I personally think if you're an adult and you're listening to the show, don't feel any type of peer pressure by whatever Josh says.
I'm an adult and I'm going to watch all 4 hours.
That's your choice to watch it. Not a true fan is a stretch of the imagination.
True fan.
Anyways, Jared Leto has been confirmed to come back because they are working him into the story. He has been reported to have a wearied look, or somebody had stated that he has a road look. I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Yeah, you wrote this down, and I immediately went, what?
Yeah, I don't know what it means. But I think they translated, because a third article that I read about this said that they were changing the design. And I think that's all we needed to know about that. Because
I mean, you're not wrong. The fact that people... I mean, it's no secret that everyone thought the way that the Joker looked in Suicide Squad, which we'll kind of talk about here in a second. Like, it's no secret that everyone hated the way he looked.
It didn't really bother me, to be honest.
Like, for me, it was like, okay.
But, like, a lot of things don't even bother me that much about... Like, even when we talk about X-Men, I talk about X-Men on the show very often. It's just like a lot of things that I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like it doesn't ruin my day. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't like this, but like, who cares? Like, no one cares. So like Jared Leto with like tattoos on his forehead, I'm like, okay, so clearly this man is insane. And
we didn't need tattoos to know that.
Yeah, like who? But like at the end of like, who cares?
I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I went to go watch the movie. Was I like taken out of it because he wrote the word "damaged" on his forehead? No. Were the memes funny of him looking like Macaulay Culkin screaming in Home Alone? Absolutely. But you know, that's a different story.
I think could they have approached it a different way? Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But do I think there's... I mean, do you know how many Jokers that they've done since its inception? There was a Joker documentary that was released by DC Fandom.
Yeah, that was a really cool documentary.
I love that one because they even brought in Zach Galifianakis as the Joker in the Lego Batman movie. And, like, we never bring that up, but he did a really good Joker. He really did a good Joker. Fun. So, I say this to say, there's many different tellings of who the Joker is because he doesn't have a true origin. And that's what makes him such a very compelling character. But this Joker that Jared Leto has done has tattoos. Whatever. So you're going to change the design for him. Great. Whatever.
Yeah. What was
not going to be in the movie?
Joker's quote, "If I have to have an origin, I'd rather it be multiple choice."
Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah. So, needless to say, I'm very excited for the Snyder Cut. I'm glad that Jared Leto's coming back. I also feel like he's going to get a second closure. Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm glad he's getting closure because...
Yeah, exactly. Because they screwed him over with all the footage that they shot and never used for Suicide Squad.
Which is the next topic that we're getting to.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is what's called a segue.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're such a beautiful man.
Just saying.
David Ayer has the Ayer cut for the Suicide Squad. The first Suicide Squad, not the one that's being directed and being cut and processed.
Not Suicide Squad. Not to be confused with the Suicide Squad.
Right. It's just Suicide Squad. And there's the Ayer cut that's going to be coming directly to HBO Max. I think this is such a great time to be alive. This is fantastic. So now we'll actually get to see, because David Ayer actually came out in an interview recently and said that the studio is responsible for like cutting like the first 20 to 40 minutes.
Yep.
Of that film, which is why like the beginning of the film really doesn't make sense, and like I like
it just starts.
Yeah, I like Suicide Squad, but I'm like, I don't really get what's going on here, but I guess that's not what they were going for. But it looks like David Ayer wasn't going for that at all.
Nope. And then like we just said, like there's a bunch of Joker footage that just was not used at all.
And he was upset, and he said like he doesn't even want anything to do with this whole thing because, I mean, what he signed up for is not what came out. So imagine, I pay you for a job and, I pay you and, what I said for you to come in and do, you didn't do that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm glad. Look, everyone is getting their face shake. Now, all we need right now is Ben Affleck to come back as Batman and make that Batman movie, and then we'll have like 5 Batman movies.
Yeah, but that Batman trailer of Robert Pattinson was really good.
I'm not saying that we should get rid of that. I'm just saying we need Ben Affleck to have his...
I mean, he's going to come back in Flashpoint, so we already knew that.
Yeah.
We're
going to have like 6 Batman movies coming out at the same time.
You're not wrong. Now,
anyways, you were saying.
Here's the thing, though. I will say, so from this thread that you got this from, it is from smallscreen.co.uk.
Okay.
There has been an updated tweet by them saying David Ayer has taken to Twitter to claim that his cut of Suicide Squad is not coming to HBO Max.
What?
However, they're still saying that they're standing by their sources, but we want to make sure his tweet was mentioned.
Gotcha. Okay. So well, we don't know.
It may have been, somebody jumping the gun, not James Gunn. But yes, but maybe like somebody said something a little too early, and they will announce it at a later time. But who knows?
HBO Max is weird because they just got rid of Aquaman, and I'm like, why are you getting rid of it? Like, I don't get it.
Well, that's a whole different story because there's somebody that's
no.
Anyway,
don't.
We're not.
Just
we're
don't.
not.
You get my joke. Anyways, so that's all the DC news that we have right now, and then switching gears to that Marvel train.
Because we can't go an episode without Marvel.
One freaking episode.
It's not. I'm pretty confident, even in like the Kingdom Hearts episode or the music episode, we talk something Marvel.
So for anybody that's listening right now, we will gift, okay, all of the Avengers digital if you can find one episode in all of our podcasts where we don't mention Marvel at all. That's Avengers 1.
Hold on, please. Yes, I was about to say, clarify which films.
No, Avengers. Marvel's The Avengers in 2012. Age of Ultron, the sequel. Infinity War, as well as Endgame.
Oh, he's putting this out there. He did this without consulting me, everyone. So
I just, this is me. This is coming from Fresh Geek Context. If you can find one episode
Fresh
where we
Geek
don't...
Context is both of us.
I know. Yeah, well, I'm trying to cover ourselves. But
Clearly.
If you could find an episode where we don't mention Marvel at all, you will get 4 movies.
And also let us know what they are, because I don't even know.
We don't know.
This is why we're asking this of you.
Yeah, we're asking of this of you because we actually do want to know. So if you are willing for the challenge, you get 4 free movies.
Okay, and to be clear, if you hear where we don't talk completely about it, we actually mean where we don't mention either Marvel, the word Marvel
or at all,
or anything within the Marvel universe.
So it's not if we mention the MCU, that's Marvel. If we mention Daredevil with Ben Affleck, that's Marvel. If we mention Blade, that's also Marvel.
Yes.
I'm just talking about an episode where we don't talk about
nothing. The word Marvel is not murmured. The
properties,
subject of it, all of that.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Great.
Cool. And if that does happen, holy crap! What episode was it? Because I want to re-listen to it to make sure.
Yeah, we will check your homework.
Yeah.
But moving on to, because clearly this episode is not going to be that.
No.
Marvel news. Chris Pratt and Vin Diesel have been confirmed to be traveling to Australia because they are going to be featured in the next Thor: Love and Thunder movie. So
the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, but they never said that. You know that, right?
What?
They never said. But they say actually.
Yeah, he says it.
No, they do say that, don't they?
Thor says
I thought. I need to watch that film again.
It's at the very end of Endgame.
I know when it happens. I just thought, when fans, they watch movies and they say things, I had assumed that was something that a fan said.
No, he said it.
He said it. So, yeah.
How did people hear it? I don't know, because they were laughing their butts off when it happened.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
There are so... I vividly remember not understanding what Hulk said in the original Avengers movie right after he like destroyed Loki because of everyone laughing so hard. Like I saw his lips move. Theater. Yeah, we were there together. It was a bunch of us, and he does that. The entire theater is just cracking up, and Thor says something Hulk says something because his mouth is moving. I have no idea what he said the first time because everyone was just dying of laughter. And it happened again in Endgame with that. Like, everyone just erupted in laughter. I had no idea what he said right after as Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've said this before, Kevin Feige, if you're listening, there needs to be, like, kind of like a theater cut of the film where you watch it and you hear all the people, like, yelling and hooting. I think that would be a great idea.
We have YouTube for that. In all honesty, I still watch that one Endgame reaction video of that dude, and you just hear his super high squeal. It's hilarious.
I know. And one of my favorites is the copy of the Infinity War trailer that we were never supposed to see on the internet, but exists.
Yeah.
And there's this one guy that has no idea what he's looking at. He's like, "What? Thor?" He said every single time. I'm like, he has no idea what's going on.
He doesn't understand. He just witnessed the trailer to the start of one of the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah. And he's just he's just so happy to be participating.
He's just happy to be at D23. Anyway, so yeah. As Guardians of the Galaxy are heading to Australia.
Yes.
We don't know. Oh, go ahead.
No. Yeah, we don't know.
I was going to say, we don't know if they're going to be in it for the whole movie, if they're in it for the beginning of the film to drop Thor off, at the end of the film to pick Thor back up. We don't know anything, obviously.
Don't know anything.
We just know that they are going there to do stuff.
Yeah.
Also, why is Vin Diesel going? Because he does voiceover?
Yes, exactly.
But he doesn't have to be there for that.
You want him to phone it in?
Yeah, that's literally what he does. He goes to a booth and they take his recordings.
Yeah, so the booth is in Australia.
Why?
That's probably where the production studio is for Marvel Studios.
But anyway,
who knows? I mean, you don't know what's going to be happening. Look, I get it. He should be able to record
motion capture.
Yeah, well, you never know. But at the same time, he could record it on his phone. I mean, we're at that point in our lives where
I highly doubt he would be recording it on his phone. Are you telling me Vin Diesel does not have a professional microphone at his house?
I don't think
the man released a song, which we are not going to talk about.
I forgot he did that.
We are not going to be talking about that. However, he did it. So I'm pretty sure he can do it.
2020 has been so bizarre.
We're not talking about it.
Can we do a year-end review, please?
No.
Please. We have to. We have to talk about all of the crazy that has happened this entire year.
I want to forget this year existed, please.
Australia was on fire.
California was on fire. Because somebody wanted to know if they were having a boy or a girl.
Oh my gosh.
They couldn't just look at the photo. So they were like, what can we do? I know. Let's set the entire West Coast on fire.
This is all in the middle. In the middle of a freaking pandemic. We have to. We do.
I don't want to.
We do.
That's going to be
because that's what's going to help us appreciate the new year.
Will it though?
Yeah, it will. It will. I have good ideas. Trust me.
No. Do you know what's going to help me for the new year?
What's going to help you for the new year?
WandaVision coming out January 15th.
Your segues are pristine. The release date for WandaVision.
I haven't lost my touch. I know what I'm doing.
Great, because I don't.
I got this. I'm keeping us on track. Don't worry, guys.
The release date for WandaVision has
Choo
finally
choo.
been announced. You can finally go on the Disney app because apparently if you go to the website, it's not there, and we don't know why. But if you go onto the mobile app on your phones, WandaVision is set for January 15th of 2021.
Yeah.
Which officially makes 2020 the only year, aside from 2009, that doesn't have any Marvel content, any Marvel Studios content, to be specific.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, I'm literally playing a Marvel property right now, but that's not Marvel Studios.
Marvel Studios. So we may get a first look for Spider-Man. So
I mean, they've been filming for a month now.
they got plenty of footage.
Roughly.
Plenty of footage.
Maybe half a month.
Release something.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to mention. So when we were talking about the Tom Holland stuff with Nathan Drake, that was literally like the last 2 days of him shooting Uncharted, and then he went to go immediately start shooting Spider-Man 3.
I'm glad he's working.
Dude's working. Yeah,
Working a lot.
For sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Uncharted trailer maybe within the next month or so.
Yeah,
before the end of the year.
Depends on when the movie is actually going to be coming out, but that remains to be seen. We're not going to talk about that.
Isn't it July of next year? Supposedly,
Yeah.
if everything goes smoothly.
If everything goes smoothly, is the
God, we are as unbusy as we were this year. We're going to be super busy next year with all of these movies we have to keep.
There's going to be like 30 Marvel Studio stuff, like 15 DC stuff. Like, God, it's going to be overwhelming.
And that's just Marvel and DC. This doesn't count us watching like James Bond, Uncharted,
it's going to be
Halloween.
Yeah, it's going to be super overwhelming. And I keep saying this, I'm like, if the pandemic continues and like theaters don't like naturally come back to the wild and like do what theaters do.
Breath of the Wild?
No, stop it. It's going.
Breath of the Wild.
There's going to be this moment where it's like, well, what do we do with all of this stuff that is literally sitting in the can, ready to go? Like, we got to do something with it. So I'm hoping we don't get up to that point. I'm hoping that everything comes out next year.
For sure.
Hoping. And I know I've said that at least 4 times since this whole thing started, 245 days ago.
Yeah.
We'll see. But there's the last thing here.
Yeah, so you're going to take point on this very last thing.
This point is going to be extremely short. The Mandalorian Season 2 is out. I have watched the last 3 episodes, and I'm very excited.
At least 3?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And you have not watched anything.
Any of it.
No. So I don't, at this point, I'm just going to stop asking, because I don't think you're going to.
I mean, I will.
But
eventually.
You're not. And it's fine. I just, if you're not, I want something concrete. I would love to see something concrete that comes from you. You watch it and you give something like critical, a review on like, here's the reason why I'm not watching it. Like, don't give me like, I'm gonna watch it eventually, because like it's been over a year, bro.
So all right. So you know what? We're gonna talk about this right now. So here's the thing. I've said it multiple times.
You're not a Star Wars fan. I get it.
Like
I get it.
Like I will watch Star Wars. I will sit down. I will watch the movies. No, I can't even say that because I haven't watched anything with Clone Wars or anything like that. I will watch the movies. But that's as far as I'll go. Like, I don't clam for more Star Wars stuff. Will I go to Galaxy's Edge and have fun? Absolutely, because it's a blast. It's really cool. And I like the world and all that stuff. But I'm not invested in it like I am with Marvel. I'm not invested in it like I am with Kingdom Hearts. I'm not invested in it like I am with Dragon Ball. Like, those things I actively seek out new content for.
Right.
Star Wars, they've been dropping new content like crazy, and I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'll check it out whenever. Like, you were like, why aren't you playing this with, what was it, Fallen Order? Jedi? Yeah.
Well, no, honestly, I didn't expect you.
Game, right?
But I wasn't expecting you to do Fallen Order.
Is that the name of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting you to play Fallen Order, to be completely honest with you. I may have mentioned it in passing, but there was never a moment where I was just like, to like re-follow up with you or see if you had gotten the game, because like I get it. I understand that you're not. But I don't think you're answering the question. Like,
which is what?
Which is, if you're not watching it, is it because you just have no interest in it, or you watched it and it's like bad?
No. I don't think it's that. So that I will say, it's not bad. It is actually like I legit, because I watched the first 4 or 5 episodes of season 1, and I enjoyed myself when I was watching them.
But you just had no ambition to watch.
But I have no,
next episode.
I don't have that motivation to like go back and watch it.
Right, and that's fair, because there's lots of Netflix shows that I start and I'm like, not continuing this.
Yeah,
and
so that's the thing. I just don't have that motivation there now. Like again, if we start talking about like something Marvel related or like Daredevil, for example, I will binge watch the entire thing.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe
because
it.
I'm interested in that. I want more of that.
I'm wondering, because it's like, because the show for me is improving, and we're not doing like a proper review because we're coming close to the end of the episode. But Mandalorian, with the 3 episodes that we have out now, it's clearly progressing somewhere, and they've name dropped like characters, and I'm not going to share that with you now. I wish
you can tell me offline after this.
Yeah, that's fine. And obviously, to some capacity, either we are discussing it or I'm discussing it, where, there are certain things that are being set up right now, but they're not just doing setup, like things are happening in the episodes.
Yeah.
And, villains have been revealed, and I'm like stoked. I'm absolutely stoked.
Yeah.
And I know that those episodes, when the reveal happens, I know you would get something out of there, but for some reason, I suppose it's not clicking for you.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm interested in. Like, what part isn't clicking? And we don't have to discuss it now.
Yeah.
We could discuss it later. What I can say, based on the 3 episodes that I've seen so far, is Timothy Olyphant is fantastic.
Oh, I did.
I mean, enjoyed that episode tremendously. The last part of that episode, certainly, I mean, I believe I know what it is. The online community believes they know who it is. I'm excited to see what's next. The second episode kind of creeped me out, so it did its job there. And I know some people had problems with it, but it's like, it's a series, guys, is really what I'm saying. I liked it. Clearly, what you see there is not going to be the end of it, because that's how series work. You set something up, and the payoff is later. So, and then the last episode was also good. Also had a fantastic cameo for a character that, for an actress that many people are familiar with, and name drop. And I am catching up on a lot of Star Wars stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that I know. Obviously, the movies very well. I'm very interested in The Mandalorian, and The Mandalorian is helping me become more interested in stuff that I miss. So, who knows what's happening in Star Wars right now? Because the sequel, well, we know why. But the sequel trilogy has left a very strange. Like, Star Wars is weird. We've discussed this before. The Star Wars community of fans are just completely divided, and they're not divided into factions. It's like everybody's on their own planet, and I don't get it. But I know I'm a Star Wars fan. I love it all.
Yeah,
I can criticize it, but I don't hate any of it, and I can't tell anybody what to do and what not to do. But it's interesting to see what this is doing. And it would be great if The Mandalorian just becomes this anchor that kind of reestablishes that love and that care and precision for all of the projects that they have moving forward.
Sure.
I'm hoping that this is that anchor, and everything gets built from here, from this point. Because I can tell you, growing up with Star Wars movies, I did not care at all But I didn't know who Boba Fett was. Somebody told me like Boba Fett was their favorite character, and I was just like, who are you talking about? And I said, oh, the bounty hunter in not Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back. And I said, I have no idea who you're talking about. And I've seen that movie multiple times.
Yeah.
So they explained it to me, and I was just like, that guy is your favorite character? And I'm like, we know nothing about that guy. And that, with the extended universe and all that stuff, they were explaining stuff to me, and I said, I don't care about that. This show is making me care about that.
Fair enough.
So, again, not gonna. I think that's something. I think that would be a topic. Just what is the disconnect? Because clearly you like it to a degree.
I like it. Yeah, exactly. I like it to a degree, but it's not like you just said off the top of your head. Like Star Wars was something that you watched when you were a child, right?
And I don't think you need to like it as a child in order for you to like it now.
No. I'm not saying that. But right. What I'm saying is that because of that, it's more ingrained in you.
It is, but this is a great show to establish a new love for it or a new fan base. Like somebody who doesn't know anything about any of the previous movies.
Right. And this is something somebody can latch onto if they had no interest whatsoever, that they can be drawn in.
Right.
Whereas me, I already have somewhat of an interest, but I already know in my head, I'm like, I like it, but it's not something that I want to invest all my time in.
Yeah.
Because I've already invested with so many other things.
And believe it or not, I still believe that can change. I just don't know if you've seen... Because it only takes really one thing, right? One thing and be like, okay, I'm interested in this.
Right. And it very well in the future, one day I could be sitting on my couch and be like, you know what I want to do? Let me just binge watch The Mandalorian. Let me binge watch Clone Wars. Let me binge watch whatever the other series was called. And I could come to you and text you the next day and be like, yo, I'm really into Star Wars now.
You know how I would react? You remember in Mrs. Doubtfire when Robin Williams is like, no, not hello. Remember his brother? He goes, oh, I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right, yeah, when he comes back out.
That's what I would be doing. But I wouldn't make you up like a woman. That would just be my response. Anyways.
I just want to say, really quickly before we close out, the text that you sent me of Love is Only a Feeling Darkness video.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's the lead singer in the thumbnail.
Yes.
Looks like Aerosmith, and then I immediately thought, dude, looks like a lady.
Oh, yeah. So I've been totally aside, talking about self-care and taking care of oneself and mental stability. I've been on a rock kick, and I've discovered a lot of new music just from family, friends, and I've just been sharing out music. So I've shared Love is Only a Feeling by The Darkness with so many. But first of all, the song is great. Okay, it is phenomenal. And the video is also phenomenal.
You have to watch it.
It's dude, you should watch it. It's just like these epic angles that show
Are there Dutch angles?
No Dutch angles. No
Dutch
angles. But they're better angles. Let's just put it that way. And
90 degree or
no, it's just wide angles, and it's powerful, man. It's just so good.
Skimmed over my joke, whatever.
What?
Said, is it 90 degree?
Stop it. Just stop it. It's getting late. Just stop it.
You just completely ignored it.
I know, because I'm focused on what I'm going to say. Close this all out. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is we are definitely going to be doing an episode on self-care. I think it's important. It's definitely important.
And one last tidbit before finally we close this out, because we really need to close this out. If you do want to discover new music, this is for you, Jason. This is for everybody. Mark Hoppus of Blink-182 fame. He has I think you told me about this already, but I'm going to reiterate. Yes. He does have a radio show on Apple Music called After School Radio.
Mm-hmm.
It's every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Or you could just watch it whenever you feel like watching it.
Well, that's when he drops new episodes. All past episodes are there. So if you want to catch it live, you could.
Mm-hmm.
His past episodes are up that you can just listen to. They're about 2 hours each.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like a podcast, but not really. But basically, he just drops like a bunch of alternative and rock and stuff like that from throughout history. And he talks to some of the people. Like he had what's his name from Jimmy Eat World. He had who did he have on there the other day too? He had somebody, I forgot the name of it, but he has some. Oh, Data Remember. Actually, you know what? Data Remember was on there too. So he brings in other artists to kind of talk about some things and like their favorite songs and all that stuff. So it's really cool. Check it out.
Great.
If you want to discover new music,
I will do that. I'm looking forward to that. So mental health. Listen to great music. Mark Hoppus, Apple Music, and thanks so much for tuning in. I'll tell you what. If you like what we had to say, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at Jace Rockland, and Josh.
I am at JCA90. You can also find us over on the Twitter at FCC Podcast, on Instagram as FCC Podcast, or email us at freshgeekcontext@gmail.com.
You can also visit our website at freshgeekcontext.com for written articles, galleries, and videos, as well as Spreaker.com. Just search for Fresh Geek Context there or on any streaming platform of your choice. It goes a long way for us to know that you're listening, and share with your friends so they can be Fresh Geeks too. Until next time, everybody.
Catch you on the flip side. I'm just trying to say more things that are 90s sounding. Is it working?
Maybe? Is that a Boondocks reference?
Possibly.
Boondock Saints?
Maybe.
Do
you think I could find Heelys anywhere?
I'm positive. eBay is a fantastic place that I don't participate
Will
in.
they fit me is the question.
If you find your size, I am positive.
I am a size... Hold on, please. This is very important for the end of the episode. I am a size 11.5.
Then you should just search for that.
Okay. Will I find it? Who knows? Find out on the
next episode of Fresh Geek.
Of Fresh Geek Context. Goodbye, everyone.